The awesome return, the awesomely triumphant return of Office Hours on Fridays. Good morning, everybody. This is DJ Doc V. I'll be here with you for the next 60 minutes. We started off that show with What About Us by Ministry. Great story behind this song from Song Facts. Ministry wrote this for the 2001 Steven Spielberg movie AI, where the band performed it in the Flesh Fair scene. Ministry's frontman Al Jourgensen came up with the lyrics to go along with the theme of the movie, which is the conflict between robots and humans. The humans' mantra is, "What about us?" And they proceed to rip apart the robots at the Flesh Fair. But the really great part of this story is coming up next. Ministry was the first real band Spielberg used in one of his movies, and for a while, it looked like the industrial rockers and the legendary director were not going to get along. In a 2012 interview with Al Jourgensen, he explained, "We were on set for 3 days. I saw Spielberg while we were on stage and we were doing rehearsals, but we didn't meet. So they set up a meeting with Spielberg, his handler, and the whole band. And it was kind of like meeting the Queen." This is Al Jourgensen talking here. "You couldn't talk to him. You couldn't look at him in the face unless he talked to you. I was at the end of the line of the fans, and he got down to me, and I just blew off all the protocol, and I told him, 'Hey, Steve, baby, what's the deal?' I thought AI stood for anal intruder, and this was supposed to be a porno film. This man's got to walk. We're quitting today." I was kidding, just to break the ice, but his handler freaked out. Spielberg took it personally, and I had to chase him down in all my costuming and all this crap and I was wearing, and I said, just, look, I was kidding, just relax, and they were also uptight about it, but it really did break the ice. It says after that, every day on the set, Spielberg would come up with and name a new moniker for AI. Like, I think his first one was Animal Indecency. So, of course, it stands for artificial intelligence. The movie was out way back then. But every day he'd come up with a new title, and so they got along quite well. They started jamming on stage and stuff. So why start off the triumphant return of Office Hours with Ministry? Well, let me tell you, I just scored some tickets for Ministry, Frontline Assembly, and the opening band Helmet in San Antonio in October. Oh, I'm pretty psyched about that. I've seen Ministry a couple times already. They are awesome in concert, and I'm really looking forward to that road trip up to San Antone for some headbanging at the Aztec Theater on October 25th. So thanks for sticking with me this morning. Sorry for the absence of the show last couple weeks. It was all on me. So I was traveling last week, but welcome back from your break. It's time to get on with the rest of the semester and the rest of the show. It's 66 degrees in Edinburgh right now, and we'll do a double shot of Ministry. How about that? So here's a Ministry with New World Order, only on the Valley Student Station, Vaquero Radio. Ben Folds from Songs for Silverman. That one was called Jesus Land. Before that, we heard Led Zeppelin with Friends. That one goes out to my buddy Steve in Spokane. I got to visit with him over the break. Boy, what a great visit. Beautiful country up there, the Pacific Northwest. Got a chance to go up to the base of the ski slope on Mount Spokane. They're still doing skiing up there in the Pacific Northwest. And also visited the riverfront, closer to downtown Spokane. Great visit. So really glad to get to see him there. And I was able to survive through living in Wild Kingdom. The guy's got more pets than I think we've got at the Gladys Porter Zoo. More animals than the Gladys Porter Zoo there. But that's all right. So, and then before that song by Led Zeppelin, Friends, again, went out to my buddy Steve. So thanks again for tuning in, Vaqueros. It is Friday, March 26th at 10:23, 67 degrees in beautiful downtown Edinburgh on the UTRGV campus. This is DJ Doc V. You're listening to Office Hours. We've got another, let's see, 37 minutes or so. I'm going to try and get in as many songs as possible. Right now, we're going to hear from some Wilco, another great band that you're only going to hear here on Vaquero Radio, the Valley's student station. Soul Coughing on Vaquero Radio. Good morning, Vaqueros. It is Friday, March 26th. It's 10:37. a.m. This is DJ Doc V. You're listening to Office Hours. You just heard Soul Coughing. The song Is Chicago Is Not Chicago. M. Doty and the gang there giving us some really grooving tunes there. Before that, you heard They Might Be Giants, a Birdhouse in Your Soul from their Flood album. And we started off that set with Wilco and Sunken Treasure. As we usually do here on Office Hours, talk a little bit about today in history. Back in 1953, American medical researcher Dr. Jonas Salk announces on a national radio show that he has successfully tested a vaccine against poliomyelitis, the virus that causes the crippling disease of polio. In 1952, an epidemic year for polio, there were 58,000 new cases reported in the United States, and more than 3,000 died from the disease. For promising eventually to eradicate the disease, which is known as infant paralysis because it mainly affects children, Dr. Salk was celebrated as the great doctor benefactor of his time. You got to love science. It gives us amazing solutions to problems. It's too bad, right? In 1997, on this day, the Heaven's Gate cult members found dead. Following an anonymous tip, the police enter a mansion in Rancho Santa Fe, an exclusive suburb of San Diego, California, and discover 39 victims of a mass suicide. There's a great documentary series about that cult that's been on HBO. I got to see that. In 1979, Israel-Egypt peace agreement signed in a ceremony at the White House. Egyptian President Anwar el-Sadat and Israeli Prime Minister Menachem Begin signed a historic peace agreement, ending 3 decades of hostilities between Egypt and Israel and establishing diplomatic and commercial ties. That was Jimmy Carter, president at the time, helped negotiate that peace deal. And some pointed to that as the impetus for the assassination, not soon after that, of the Egyptian president, Sadat. But, there's always going to be people that aren't all that eager to engage in peaceful diplomacy. It's just a bummer of a region, that Middle East there. Will we ever really see peace there? I don't know. I'm not sure there's any real good solutions there, unfortunately. They just had some elections in Israel again, and the Prime Minister Netanyahu's party took a bit of a hit there. They still won the most seats, but they're not sure if they're going to be able to form a government. So Israel experiencing some difficulty in their democracy these days. Thanks again for listening. 10:40 in the morning. It is 69 degrees here in beautiful Edinburgh on the UTRGV campus. Let's continue Office Hours with a little number that's, this is from Simply Red, but the song was written by David Byrne of the Talking Heads. This song is called Heaven, and you're going to hear it only on Vaquero Radio, the Valley's student station. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Exhuming McCarthy by R.E.M. from their Document record. That was 1987. What were you doing in 1987?
Was not born yet.
You were not born yet. Oh, God, I feel so old. 1987. What was I doing in 1987? I was in August of 1987. I was in Norfolk, Virginia at my U.S. Navy A school, learning how to be a anti-submarine warfare guy. So from R.E.M.'s Document, Exhuming McCarthy. If that sounds a little political to you, that's true. You've probably heard the background. That was Joseph Welch's rebuke of the junior senator from Wisconsin at the time in the 1950s, Joe McCarthy, from the Army McCarthy hearings. That specific quote, "Let us not assassinate this lad further, Senator. You've done enough. Have you no sense of decency, sir? At long last, have you left no sense of decency?" Soon after those hearings, McCarthy would be censured by the Senate, and he passed away a few years later. But certainly a lightning rod of controversy there. Before we get to our last song, as we usually do on Fridays during office hours, I got a poem for you. I'm not sure who this one was written by, but it's called Friendship. I wanted to thank you, but was unable to explain what it means to have a friend, to share life's joys and life's pains. It's good to know our friendship is one of endless devotion, forged out of respect and every kind of emotion. It's patient and forgiving, never failing or forsaking. When a hand is outstretched or one's heart is breaking, it's ever faithful, and even when the world condemns and sparkles in the darkness like fireworks and gems. It does my heart good at the end of the day to know that you will never be more than an email away. Proof of a true friend is knowing that if I were lost, you would find me. That's a poem called Friendship here on Office Hours. This is DJ Doc V. Got one more song for you. Thanks again for listening, and we will see you next week on Office Hours. We're going to leave today with a little Peter Murphy and Wild Birds Flock to Me from the Cascade album. Here's Peter Murphy, only on Vaquero Radio.
The station with the latest news
and the biggest hits.
Vaquero Radio,
the Valley's student station.